Bruce Lee is the epic and beauty of the martial arts. He is the epic that conquered the world with his resilient body. According to Chinese zodiac belief, Bruce Lee was born in the year and hour of the dragon. He left the world at 1973. Bruce Lee had put a lot of effort to bring the martial arts, kung fu to the world. After acting as a child actor in several movies, he became the epic of the silver screen. Bruce Lee was born in 27 November 1940 in San Francisco's Jackson Street Hospital to Li Hoichui, a singer from a Cantonese opera company, and Grace Ho, a woman of Chinese, German tradition. June Fan was the first name that Grace gave to her son. But Dr. Mary Glover, who worked in the hospital, called him Bruce. After adding his family name, Lee, he became Bruce Lee. After 3 months, the Lee couples returned to their homeland. Young Bruce had a nickname, Sai Fong, which means Little Phoenix. Lee was educated at Les Saints College and St. Francis Xavier's College. Little Bruce had a thin and frail body. His temper and impatience often got him into trouble. At the age of 18, after being severely beaten by a classmate, Lee decided to learn martial arts for self-defense. He was weak in studies, and apart from that he got into lot of fights. His mother, Grace, was afraid that if her son stayed in the country, he would commit violence and end up in prison. They decided to send Bruce to a friend in America for further education. So Bruce Lee came to America with $100 given by his mother and the medal of the 1958 Hong Kong boxing champion. He earned a bachelor's degree in philosophy from the University of Washington. At the University of Washington, Lee met Linda in 1961. They fell in love and got married in August 1964. Although he has acted as the hero in very few films, he has many fans all over the world. Bruce Lee is still the last word in martial arts today. The mysteries of Bruce Lee's death are still not over. There are many controversies surrounding Lee's death. Lee's death is still a mystery to many. Let's see what were the failures and achievements that happened in the life of Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee is a notable figure as a child actor in small films. By the time he was 18, he had played big and small roles in more than 20 films. But later he left acting and focused on martial arts. In 1965, Lee was invited to the series Green Hornet. He was paid $400 per episode. By this time, Lee had become a star. In normal movies, the action scenes were shown at high speed, while in Bruce Lee's films, the speed was slowed down through editing. That's how fast Bruce Lee's movements were. The Big Boss was the movie in which Bruce Lee appeared as an action hero. Bruce Lee himself made some minor changes to the script during the shooting. After this, Bruce Lee emerged as a star. After the release of this movie, Lee became a Chinese star. The Way of the Dragon became history after the movie The Big Boss. As Warner Brothers is gearing up to release the film, the legend of martial arts in world cinema had become a memory. It is clear in Lee's films that the only purpose of martial arts is defense. Lee never used any form of martial arts for the destruction of others. This is what makes Lee's films so special even today. This movie Game of Death was exactly what the title had said. The film was written and directed by Lee himself. But Bruce Lee was not lucky enough to complete this film before his death. Only 28 minutes of footage were shot for this film. Bruce Lee has a strong body. Even one blow was too much for the opponent to bear. He would regularly do push-ups using only the thumb and forefinger of one hand. Bruce Lee died at the age of 32. During the dubbing of the movie Enter the Dragon, he collapsed. Later, he was taken to the hospital and cured with proper treatment. What happened next is unbelievable to this day. After discussions about the film, Lee went to rest due to a headache. But in the meantime, Lee, who had taken painkillers for his headache, did not wake up. He died on the way to the hospital. There were no external injuries on the body. The cause of death was brain swelling. The medical report stated that the cause of death was a reaction in Lee's body to the chemicals in the painkillers taken by Bruce Lee during his headache. The mystery of Bruce Lee's death continues to this day. For years, there have been many rumors about Bruce Lee's death and its mysteries. But many of these had little to do with reality. He has been posthumously awarded the Asian Award. Bruce Lee called his martial arts style Jeet Kune Do, a combination of various martial arts. Bruce Lee's martial arts experiments created a lot of controversy. The controversy, which began as Asian secrets being taught to the West, culminated in a duel between Bruce Lee and another famous martial artist. In the end, Bruce Lee won, but as the race dragged on, Bruce Lee intensified his training. However, the great void caused by the untimely death of the legend of martial arts in Asian and world cinema is still huge today.